my channel! I'm Alexa. Today we're making sticky toffee pudding. I measured out all my ingredients and I recommend that you do so too. You can find a full list of ingredients and measurements in the link in the description. Remember to watch the video first so you can be prepared.
First, I'm going to put a half a cup of water into a saucepan on the stove. I'm going to add in my baking soda and dates into the saucepan. I'm going to stir this using my rubber spatula. This will allow the baking soda to mix in and make it so the dates don't burn or stick to the bottom of the pan. I'm going to cook this on medium-high heat until it boils and is soft in texture. My dates were a little dry to start, so that's why I'm cooking it longer than just a boil. If you feel your dates are not soft but boiling, lower your temperature and stir until soft. Just don't let the mixture dry out. If your dates are soft to start, then just bring it to a boil and remove it from heat. It won't be as dark as mine, but the color doesn't matter at all. If you find it is too chunky for your taste and you prefer a smoother texture, I use a handheld emulsion blender for a few seconds directly in the pan I cooked the mixture in. Next, I'm going to sift my flour. This is to make sure there are no clumps. If you don't have a sifter, you can use a wire whisk or a fork. When you're sifting, you can push the ingredients through using a rubber spatula or a spoon, or you can tap the sides of it with your hands. Now that my ingredients have all fallen through, I'm going to tap the sides of my sifter so I can make sure no ingredients are stuck to its stand. If your sifter doesn't have a stand, you don't need to do this step. Now I'm going to cream my butter in the bowl of my stand mixer. Creaming your butter means putting it into your mixer and letting it mix by itself so it loosens and actually becomes creamy. This will allow it to combine better with the rest of your ingredients. Some recipes tell you to cream your butter with your sugar, but I find that it combines better when you cream it by itself first. Before adding in the sugar, I'm going to scrape down my bowl with a rubber spatula so the sugar will mix in better. Next, I'm going to add in the brown sugar. I'm going to cream this for 5 minutes until it's light and fluffy. I'm going to scrape down my bowl whenever the mixture starts sticking to it. My batter looks good, so I'm going to add in my vanilla extract. I'm going to mix this to combine it. Before I add in my next ingredients, I'm going to scrape down my bowl again. Now I'm going to add in one of the eggs into the bowl. I'm going to mix this until the egg is fully mixed in. Now I'm going to add in the other egg. I'm going to mix this until my mixture all looks the same. My batter looks great, so let's move on to the next step. Now I'm going to add in my date and baking soda mixture from before. I'm going to mix this into my batter until it's all the same color. Now that it's all mixed in, I'm going to add in my sifted flour from earlier. I'm going to mix this until all the flour is combined. Try not to overmix it. Next, I'm going to put my batter into my baking pan. I'm guiding it into the pan using my rubber spatula. Then I'm going to use a butter knife to smooth out the batter into an even layer. This will help it bake evenly. Next, I'm going to put my baking pan into the oven inside of a larger pan. My oven's preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. When I first place it into the oven, I'm going to pour simmering water halfway up the side of the smaller dish into the larger pan. This is called a water bath, and this will help it bake evenly while still staying soft and moist. My sticky toffee pudding took 40 minutes to bake. I'd recommend setting a timer for 40 minutes, but it can take up to an hour without worry. If it needs more than 40 minutes, set a timer for a few more minutes at a time and continue checking. When it's done, if you insert a knife into the center, it'll come out clean. Place it onto a cooling rack so it can cool. Now I'm going to start on my toffee sauce. To do this, I'm going to first melt my butter in a saucepan over medium heat. After it is all melted and starts to bubble, I'm going to add in the brown sugar. I'm going to stir this until the butter and sugar are mixed together. Then I'm going to let this sit until it starts to boil, which should take about 3 minutes. Then I'm going to add in the heavy cream slowly, which I did a little too fast, and whisk until it doubles in size. I find it hard to tell when it doubles in size. You will be able to tell that it's thickening. Mine took 3 minutes. Be careful if you start to see it change color from a camel color to darker. Take it off the heat immediately because it'll burn in seconds. It will thicken as it cools. I'm going to pour it on top of the sticky toffee pudding. It's important to do this while everything is warm so the toffee sauce can sink into it. And my sticky toffee pudding is done and looking delicious. Please let me know what you thought of the video in the comments and how the recipe went for you. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you can see when new videos are added. Thank you and enjoy.